My name is Sean O'Connell. I'm a history teacher, retired since 1996. This is St Mary's, Dunbow, one of three churches in the parish of Dunbow, Macoscan. This is the Catholic Diocese of Derry, and this parish is one of the outlying parishes in the diocese. This particular church has been here since 1856. But the tradition of the community goes back much, much further, possibly to St Patrick's time, certainly to before the Reformation. But this little church, like many churches in Ireland and throughout the Western world really, is facing uncertainty, possibly a crisis over the future, because of the declining number of priests in the diocese and the question of a transition really from clerical management in the past to greater lay responsibility. The danger is that with the declining number of priests, it could happen that this parish community will no longer be able to come to Mass here. They may have to go to the central parish church in Coleraine. And there is, of course, upset about that, particularly because the institutions of the church at present really don't allow a local community much freedom to participate in the decision-making of the church, or in the question of how the church is to be renewed. I have a feeling that the people of this parish would have a lot to say about what has gone wrong to affect the number of priests in the parish, but truly they have not been allowed to say that. And that is the crisis of the moment. That's what concerns me. As the church here and elsewhere in the West is declining, in other parts of the world, for example in India, it is growing and helping to lift some of the poorest out of poverty. Such a parish, Kamavarapukota in Andhra Pradesh in India, is praying right now for our recovery here. Part of that recovery now has to be the implementation, without delay, of Lumen Gentium 37. When I first became a teacher in Catholic schools in 1966, I never expected that any Irish Catholic community would still be waiting for meaningful participation in the governance of their church in 2019. That was because in 1964, when I was still in university, a most important document on the future of the Catholic Church declared that we already had a right to such a role. Called Lumen Gentium, Light of Nations, Article 37 of that document went as follows. Like all Christians, the laity have the right to receive in abundance the help of the spiritual goods of the Church, especially that of the Word of God and the sacraments from the pastors. To the latter, the laity should disclose their needs and desires with that liberty and confidence which befits children of God and brothers of Christ. And we would be doing that, we were told, through the institutions established by the Church for that purpose. That did not happen, then or later. Where they exist, Catholic parish pastoral councils do not secure a right of participation or representation for small communities like this, or even a right of representation in any diocesan initiative. While this Diocese of Derry is currently attempting a renewal that requires a vigorous pastoral council in every parish, the website of this parish is currently telling the people of Dunbow, Macoscan, Ahadui and Coleraine on Tuesday the 13th of August 2019 that, following the meeting of June 25th, 2018, Pastoral Council stood down. In accordance with canon law, a new parish pastoral council will be formed. St Mary's, Dunbow sits surrounded by history. Some of Ireland's earliest human settlements occurred along the River Bann, which enters the sea nearby at Castle Rock. Not far away are the Giant's Causeway, and to the northwest, Donegal's Inishowen. And here nearby are Downhill Castle and the Mussenden Temple, built by the famous 18th century Anglican Bishop of Derry, Frederick Hervey, who was also Earl of Bristol. In the 1780s and 90s, 70 years before St. Mary's was built, this Anglican bishop and nobleman allowed the Catholic people of Dunbow to hear Mass in the crypt of this temple, one of Ireland's greatest architectural treasures. How can it be that the canon law system of their own church can treat the Catholic people of Dunbow with less respect in 2019 than they received from an Anglican bishop over 2 centuries ago, when the penal laws had not yet ended? It's a mistake to suppose that what happens in Christian churches is part of the past, that there would be no huge tragedy if these doors and other doors like it were to close on Christian services for the last time. But that's not so. What's happening today in terms of violence coming out of nowhere, bullying in schools, harassment on the internet, the terrorist incidents that are now so much troubling modern society. That has so much to do with the story that's told here and in so many other Christian churches. This has to be part of our future, if we are to have one. With our young people increasingly missing from church, and increasingly in danger from things like the internet, we surely need to be coming together, priests, teachers, parents, and young people. We haven't done that in 50 years. It isn't too early to begin. We're late beginning, and we need to start right away. That is renewal. Let us begin.